Last night, my dad told us that our mom's death wasn't an accident. She left a note before she did. And I'm honestly glad he told us, because when I read the note, I felt like she would understand how I feel sometimes. I mean, now I get why Dad was so upset and how bad it would have been if I had actually gone through with it. But it's like when you're in that moment and everything's pressing in on you and you just can't see clearly. I just wonder if my mom had given it one more day. If she would have seen things differently. Like me.
I'm so sorry about your mom. But are you saying that you have been thinking about suicide? And acting on them?
I got interrupted. I still don't know if I would have actually gone through with it. Obviously, I'm fine now.
What you're telling me is really important, Ryan. I want to connect you with a chaplain who taught the class I took. He can help you know what to do about those thoughts, because there's a chance they'll come back.
Yeah, I can meet with him.
Some days are beautiful.
Some days are hard.
Some moments take your breath away.
Sometimes the feelings are too big for just one heart.
That's why I'm here, to help you find the way. You're doing better than you think you are. God's doing more than you think He is. Talk to me, tell me more. It's okay. You're doing better than you think you are. God's doing more than you think He is. Talk to me, tell me more. I've got all day. I may not know just how you feel, but my hope for you is real. You're never meant to bear that heavy load alone. A fellow traveler I am. You set the pace, I'll hold the lamp. We'll make our way to a better place on down the road. To a better place on down the road. Oh, yeah. Some days are beautiful and some days are hard. Some moments take your breath away. Sometimes the feelings are too big for just one heart.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. To help you find the way.
In the beginning process of writing this story, I was trying to research and talk to people who really have dealt with teen suicide. And everyone I talked to said, have you talked to Kim Hess? Have you talked to Kim Hess? You need to talk to Kim Hess. At least 3 or 4 people said. And so I contacted Kim Hess, and Jake and I went to her home, and she shared in detail exactly what happened in her family. And that became the heart of this story. The Hess family became the heart of this story. Cassidy's story became the heart of this. And we knew that we had to. In season 1, I felt very strongly that we need to show the process of what it looks like when a young person reaches out to another young person. And so that just to bring that part of the story full circle before we go on to season 2. So if you watch season 1, by the time you get to episode 4, you'll see what it looks like for a young, because that's been her heart with the foundation Cassidy joined for Hope, is to speak to young people and to tell them, you can do this. You can reach out. That's what Safe Talk is, a vehicle for learning how to do that. And so that's why we promote that. So that, again, it was just people saying, reach out to Kim Hess. And she and Judd have been amazing I've reached out to her since then to say, I've heard of someone else. Do you mind speaking? But she volunteers it. So just an amazing family. We've used their home for a location. I think we're going to use a car or two. They've just been amazing. Just a privilege to know her.
So let's talk about the song.
Okay.
Because to me, this is, if you've watched episode 4, to me, there's just kind of this pinnacle moment of this song called Cassidy's Song. Yeah. And it's this montage that it all comes together. How did that, because it was kind of it was birthed through you, but birthed through you. So how did the song take place?
Well, if you see any of the materials for Cassidy Join for Hope, you see a quote from Cassidy. Do you want to say just a little bit about that quote?
Yeah. Okay. So the quote is, "You're doing better than you think you are, and God's doing more than you think He is." And so that it originated from our pastor. And it was his message in the sermon one Sunday. And of course it resonated with me, and I remember the quote, but I wouldn't even realize that Cassidy was paying attention that day. Yeah. But also, it obviously resonated with her too. Because later that year, when we lost Cassidy, I was going through things in her room, and I was opening up her Bible. And guess what I found? She had written out that quote in her Bible. And I was like, oh, wow. And just at that instant when I read it, I just felt like she was wrapping her arms around me and reminding me that I'm going to make it. And I'm doing better than I think I am. And certainly God's doing more than you think He is. So that's always just been our quote for our foundation, because we call it Cassidy's quote. But it meant something to her, and so will obviously always mean something to us.
So on all the materials, that quote is there. And again, with the main goal being to make sure that we show that full circle with a young person reaching out to another young person. As I was writing that scene where that actually happens in episode 4, I just thought, we really need to push this in. I'm always prayerful when I write. I don't want to say that I thought of it. It's like God is kind of feeding me these ideas, but we want to push in on the emotional impact of this moment. And this is Cassidy's message.
Yeah. This
was her message, and so a song came to my mind, and it would be great if we could. I wrote a song, okay?
And you've never written a song.
I don't write
She's
music,
not a songwriter.
Okay? I don't write
This
music.
is a download from God.
Right, but using that phrase as part of it, and then just sort of praying about it and adding it around it, and then finding some people, 2 of whom are here tonight at least, with Michelle and Julie, and I don't know who else is here that was involved in the song. James was here. But anyway, God just brought that together too. We ended up getting a studio. It's just funny, the thought of me. I literally thought to myself, okay, I'm going to tell Carla and Jake that I wrote a song and I'd like it to be in the show.
And she had a tune and everything.
And I was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna sing it for you. It just was ridiculous. If you were listening but it came together, and God brought it all together, and it had to be called Cassidy's Song because it was her moment. Yeah. It was her message.
Powerful. Powerful.